Alright, let's kick things off with Subnautica 2. This is one of those sequels that has fans buzzing with excitement, and for good reason. If you've played the first Subnautica, you know just how wild it is to explore alien oceans, and now they're expanding that whole experience. This time, the devs are introducing new biomes, deeper oceans, and of course, more terrifying creatures that want to eat you for lunch. But what really has me hyped is the story. They're promising a more fleshed-out narrative, which means we're going to dive into the mystery of the planet we're stranded on. Imagine swimming through glowing caves, trying to avoid gigantic sea monsters, and uncovering secrets about the planet's strange history. The survival mechanics are getting an upgrade too, so expect more ways to craft tools and stay alive. Whether you're exploring a sunken city or just trying to avoid getting eaten by a sea leviathan, Subnautica 2 is going to be a wild ride. Make sure you're ready for some serious oceanic adventure when this drops. Next up, we've got Dying Light, the Beast. Now, if you've ever played the original Dying Light or its sequel, you know the deal: zombies, parkour, and insane nighttime chases where the infected get 10 times more aggressive. But here's the twist. The Beast brings in a huge, terrifying monster that roams the map, hunting you down while you try to survive the zombie apocalypse. This game is all about speed, agility, and survival, and with the new parkour system, you'll be jumping, sliding, and wall running like a pro. They've also teased a bigger, more detailed map that includes everything from rundown cityscapes to forests and abandoned factories. What's even more exciting? The co-op mode. Imagine teaming up with friends, running across rooftops, and trying to take down this massive beast together. It sounds like the ultimate adrenaline rush. Whether you're solo or with friends, this is going to be the kind of game you'll lose yourself in for hours. I can't wait to see what the monster designs are going to look like. If you're into heart-pounding action, Dying Light, the Beast is one to keep your eyes on. Now let's talk about Elden Ring, NightReign, the next chapter in the Elden Ring universe. If you've played the original Elden Ring, you know how it was basically a masterpiece, blending open-world exploration with hardcore combat, and now we're diving into the next phase of that legendary world. This new expansion, NightReign, promises to bring even darker, more mysterious settings. They're talking about a new region called the Eternal Night, where the sun has disappeared and everything is shrouded in darkness. Sounds ominous, right? We're getting new bosses, enemies, and even more lore about the Elden Ring universe that'll tie into the larger story. But what's really cool is the new powers and abilities we're going to get. From what's been teased, there will be new magical abilities tied to the night and darkness, which should make combat even more intense. Plus, the world is said to be even bigger than before, with new paths to explore, treasures to uncover, and areas filled with perilous traps. If you're a fan of Elden Ring, you're probably already losing your mind over this. Get ready to sharpen your blade, because NightReign is going to be a tough one. Next, we've got a new chapter in the Gears of War saga. If you've been following the series, you know it's all about chainsawing your way through swarms of enemies in a brutal, post-apocalyptic world. E-Day is set to explore the origins of the war against the Locust Horde. You'll get to dive into the first days of the conflict, known as E-Day, and witness the devastating events that set the entire war into motion. The combat we all love is back, with a few new twists and even more intense gunplay. And if you've always wanted to experience the war from the ground up, this is your chance. The story's going to be heavy, showing the devastation and human cost of the war, and we're going to see some familiar faces along with a few new characters. You can expect to see some huge boss fights, intense firefights, and the kind of gritty, over-the-top action the series is known for. It's a prequel, but that doesn't mean it's going to skimp on the epic moments. If you're a Gears fan, mark this one down. It's going to be an absolute blast. Moving on to Little Nightmares 3. If you're into creepy, atmospheric platformers, this one is right up your alley. The first two games were huge hits because of their eerie vibe, mind-bending puzzles, and that constant sense of danger lurking around every corner. In Little Nightmares 3, we're going to see more of the world that's both weird and terrifying, and it's going to feel even bigger this time around. The game's also introducing a co-op mode, so you and a friend can experience the twisted environments together. You'll have to work together to solve puzzles and avoid terrifying creatures that could eat you alive at any second. As for the story, we don't know much yet, but if it's anything like the previous games, expect tons of dark, surreal storytelling. The atmosphere is going to be as oppressive as ever, and there'll probably be plenty of freaky moments to leave you on edge. If you're ready to face your childhood nightmares, Little Nightmares 3 is the game for you. Alright, let's talk about Phantom Blade Zero. This one's a new action RPG that's got a lot of people talking, and for good reason. It combines fast-paced combat with a unique world that feels like a fusion of Eastern and Western styles. You'll play as a guy named Phantom, who's trying to clear his name and uncover the secrets behind a deadly conspiracy. The combat is brutal and fast, with fluid swordplay that's all about precision and timing. Think Sekiro meets Devil May Cry, with a sprinkle of dark fantasy. The game is set in a gorgeous world where every fight feels like a choreography of death, and the story is deeply immersive. As you progress, you'll uncover more about Phantom's past and the mysterious organization he's up against. If you're into stylish combat and deep, complex worlds, Phantom Blade Zero is going to be one for the books. Who's ready for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra? This is one that's going to be a massive hit for Marvel fans. Set in an alternate 1943, this game puts you in the shoes of some of your favorite Marvel heroes, like Captain America, as they battle the rise of Hydra during World War II. It's got a retro feel with all the superhero action you expect, fast-paced combat, cool powers, and lots of historical twists. The story is centered around Hydra's plan to take over the world with advanced tech and superpowered soldiers, and you're going to need all your strength to stop them. The game will have a mix of stealth, action, and exploration, so you'll be able to take down Hydra in different ways. Plus, the graphics are looking insane, with a mix of World War II era settings and Marvel's classic comic book style. If you love Marvel and history, this game's going to be a blast. Now, let's get into Mafia Old Country. If you're a fan of the Mafia series, then you'll know it's all about deep storytelling, crime, and drama. Mafia Old Country takes us to the 1960s and dives into the criminal underworld of Italy. It's all about family, betrayal, and power struggles, and the story is filled with that classic Mafia vibe. You're going to get to experience it all: the shady deals, the secret alliances, and the dangerous people trying to climb to the top. As always, the gameplay is all about making choices that affect your future, with intense gunfights, car chases, and a city that feels alive. The world is bigger, the story's deeper, and the stakes are higher. If you're a fan of organized crime and complex characters, Mafia Old Country is going to pull you right in. Next up, let's talk Borderlands 4. It's been a minute since we last saw the chaotic world of Pandora, and fans have been waiting for the next installment for a while. Borderlands 4 is bringing back everything you love about the series: crazy weapons, over-the-top characters, and that irreverent sense of humor. But they're also adding new elements to keep things fresh. Expect a huge, open world full of new environments, even crazier enemies, and, of course, tons of loot. There's also a new story that builds off the events of Borderlands 3, so if you're a fan of the lore, you're going to love how it all ties together. And let's not forget about the co-op play. Borderlands is always better when you're running and gunning with friends. This game is going to be an absolute blast for fans of the series and newcomers alike. Last but not least, we've got Crimson Desert. This one is shaping up to be a massive open-world RPG that's got everything: epic combat, a deep story, and a world that feels alive. You'll play as a mercenary caught in a war between kingdoms, and the game offers a mix of both solo and multiplayer gameplay. The combat is smooth and brutal, with a variety of weapons and skills to choose from. The world itself is huge, filled with sprawling landscapes, cities, and dungeons, all designed with that classic RPG charm. There's a lot of emphasis on narrative, so you can expect some pretty intense story-driven moments, and the choices you make will impact the world around you. If you love action RPGs with a strong story and even stronger gameplay, Crimson Desert is one to keep an eye on.